Hey everyone, it's me, Kat Muir from Cheap and Easy Eats, and today we're going to be doing some raw vegan courgette spaghetti. So what we're going to need for this is some courgettes, or as you call them in America, zucchini. So I've got 4, and I'm going to show you how to make the noodles. Now, this was a big sort of thing maybe about 10 years ago, and I think I've got every kind of noodle maker possible. I'm going to use an electric one today just for speed, but I've also got a manual one, and I'm going to show you what to do if you don't actually have one that makes them come out like spaghetti. So first of all, I'm just going to peel the courgettes. I'm going to peel them because I don't really like the outside skin. I couldn't get organic ones, and you know, there's little bits on them. So I'm going to take this off. Now I know when I've been over to my friends in California, they have like really nice, lovely large zucchinis, as they call them over there. I did try to grow them last year and I had no success whatsoever with them. But I absolutely love the taste of courgette or zucchini, and they're such a really good vegetable to eat. And when I was young, my dad, I think he thought he was growing cucumbers and he grew courgettes because it's a very similar plant and things like that. And then they didn't know what to do with them. And my mum had asked one of her friends, and she'd said deep fry them. So my mum deep fried them like she was told to do, and you know, they weren't very pleasant. These ones have got a few little bad bits in them. They weren't the most pleasant vegetable to eat, but actually they're so delicious raw. And when you get them in season, they're just so tasty. So I've already washed them just now, and the skin's quite clean. Otherwise I wouldn't be putting it on my chopping board. Because you always want to make sure you wash your fruit and veg, because you know, you don't know who's touched it, what's happened to it, and what's been sprayed on it. Now, if you don't have an electric noodle maker, that's okay. Then what you're going to do is just take your peeler, your vegetable peeler, and you're just going to do it like thick pieces of spaghetti. And that's all we're going to do. We're just going to go around it, peeling until we get to the core. As soon as you see the seeds, then we're not going to peel into them. They have a totally different texture. And actually, courgette is so lovely raw. It's got such a lovely flavour that, you know, you can either chop it up quite thinly and put it in a salad, or you can make soup with it, or you know, raw soups as well, or things like that. So I'm going to put that to one side. And actually this is just, it's so tasty just even on its own. Very, very nice. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is we're going to spiralize it. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to spiralize this courgette, and I'm going to peel the skin off because the skin's not, you know, some of it's not looking all that great. Again, if it was organic, then I would probably just keep the skin on, but because it's not and the skin doesn't look so great, I'm just going to peel this. So I'm going to put it in here. Sometimes the electric one works, sometimes it doesn't, so hopefully it'll be okay. And I'm just going to put it down, and you have to kind of skewer the courgette on there. These are quite soft, so it might break, it might work, it might not, but let's give it a go. So you can see these noodles come out. There's not like a massive deal of difference. They just look more spaghetti-like than these ones. And sometimes they're quite long, so you have to kind of cut them, and you get the centre part comes out like a core, like this. And again, for soup or salad or anything you like really, I mean, even if you're just sort of a bit peckish. Very tasty. So these are the 2 sets of noodles. And then you can add some salt and pepper. And you can eat them raw like this. If you want them to be more like spaghetti, then all you have to do is toss them in some tomato pizza sauce. So there'll be a link to the recipe for my homemade one, and you can make that, and that's so tasty. And again, if you want to add some garlic and things like that, you can, or some other herbs through it, you can do that. And if you don't, then you don't have to. The other thing you can do is you can mix this in with regular spaghetti, and it just puts a bit more vegetable in it. But what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do a sort of raw vegan version. And some of the raw vegans that I know say that it's okay to lightly heat it up because you're not actually cooking it. So technically it's still raw. And because I live in Scotland and things are quite cold here and sometimes it's a bit chilly, you want something that's a little bit warmer. Although the tomato sauce that I make is so tasty when it's cold, it's really nice in the height of the summer on a warm summer's day. Just now, it feels like winter, even although we're still at the very tail end of summer. So all I'm going to do is I've got a little bit of raw coconut oil, and I'm just going to heat that through and melt it, and I'm going to toss the courgette in it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'll use the larger pieces, and I'll just warm that up very slightly. I'm just putting a very low heat on just now, just to lightly melt it. And all I'm going to do is peel the other one in. And just turn it as you're peeling it. And that way you can get sort of more even slices until you get down to the seeds. I mean, you might like putting the seeds in, and actually a lot of the time I just put it in, you know, with bits of seeds because I quite enjoy it. But I also enjoy mushroom and courgette soup, and also like courgettes raw in a salad. So I have zero waste from my courgette for doing things like this. And all I'm going to do is just coat my noodles or my linguine in the coconut oil. I'm going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper, just because I quite like that. And I mean, it's completely cold, you know, just now I could put my hand in it because there's no heat really in it just now. The pot's just heating up. Just putting in a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. The very first time I did it, I'd seen all the hype about how you can make, instead of using spaghetti, you can make spaghetti out of courgettes. And I thought it would be quite a nice, fun thing to do. And I did it, and I was expecting it to be similar to spaghetti, and it wasn't. It had that crunch, and it had a different flavour, and it was cold, and it was in the winter time, so I didn't quite enjoy it. Yep, it's just very lightly warm. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it over to my plate. Okay, so these ones that I spiralised, that are like large bits of spaghetti, all I'm going to do is put my homemade tomato sauce in there just to heat it up. It's been in the fridge, and I just like things a little bit warmer. So I'm just putting a little bit of tomato in, and all I'm going to do is just lightly take it round. So that's it, just starting to heat up now. So I'm just going to take it off now because that's it warm and not cooked. And I'm just going to put it in my plate, and we'll have a little taste of it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just put my Courgetti spaghetti that's just lightly warmed into the plate. I'm just going to have a little taste test. It smells absolutely gorgeous. Now again, I didn't cut the noodles down because it's quite nice just to twirl them round like actual spaghetti, if you can do that. That is so gorgeous. I cannot even begin to describe. It's just warmed through. I've got the crunchiness. It's like spaghetti, but it's a crunchier, like a really al dente spaghetti. And it's just such a gorgeous flavour. It's so tasty and delicious. And you know, it really is. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to like tuck into that just in a minute. And I'm going to just have a little bit of the plain one. So this was the noodles that we just scraped off with the potato peeler. And again, you know, they're twirling round like proper spaghetti, and it's quite raw. That is so tasty. It's so much nicer than regular pasta, in my opinion. Just absolutely, it's so gorgeous, and the tomato one's delicious as well. And really, you can put any kind of sauce that you like. You could put pesto through it. You know, that's still nice and raw vegan. And I've got a really nice recipe for pesto as well, which I'll link in this video too. And that would go beautifully with this as well. It's just such a tasty dish, and there's so much flavour, and it's so good for you because it's raw. And even if it's heated very gently, it's still raw, so all the nutrients are alive, all the minerals and vitamins are there. So I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll give this a go and let me know how you get on. So I'm Kat Muir, Cheap and Easy Eats. Take care.